The thing here is we saw what happened over the weekend. Deals were cut with people like Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski that would do various carve-outs for her particular state. Well, the Senate parliamentarian overruled those, saying those cannot be used when it comes to reconciliation. For folks who don't understand the Senate rules, by reconciliation, they could pass it with a simple majority and it not require a 60-vote threshold. So that's why they're using the reconciliation way. So that's out of the window. So what are you going to do, Lisa Murkowski? Senator Susan Collins, she voted for this. Of course, we know Senator Tom Tillis voted against it. Senator Rand Paul voted against it. He was blasting it, saying it was going to massively raise the federal deficit, and that's what Republicans were always crowing about. So hypocrites abound.
So it's interesting, Roland. This bill and debate has very reflected my time on Capitol Hill, where Republicans were fiscal hawks, right? Remember all that talk over the last several decades about, being responsible stewards. So we know that the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, has said that this bill will add over $3 trillion to the deficit. And obviously not even talking about the economic healthcare impact in terms of more than 11 million people being kicked off of the healthcare, whether it's through the Affordable Care Act and various other mechanisms. So this bill is going to have a tremendous, and not in a good way, impact on the U.S. economy, particularly the lives of everyday citizens. The other thing that we're not talking enough about, Roland, is the impact this is going to have on the ability for lower income, middle class kids going off to college. It lowers Pell Grants. It also makes it more difficult for people to take out student loans, plus loans. I believe it eliminates plus loans, et cetera, and doesn't give you a pathway to have your loans forgiven. This is going to impact in terms of individuals who are going to want to be dentists or physicians, et cetera. So the implications of this bill are far-reaching, and there are a lot of Americans who are sleepwalking through this. And by the time they look up over the next 2 to 3 years, it may not necessarily impact you, but it's going to devastate family and friends and other members of your community. And this wide-ranging bill it's just a travesty. In all my years working on Capitol Hill and following politics, I've never seen a bill like this with such a massive wealth transfer from low to moderate income families to wealthy families.
What we hear people say, what they're saying is that flat out that this could be the biggest wealth transfer in American history. That's what we constantly are hearing on Makongo.
Yeah, and it's happening right in front of all of our faces. And the fact of the matter is, you spent this whole segment showing what Reverend Barber is doing, and others. We talk about this every day, and all of us here are damn near 24-hour consumers of news. We haven't seen this anywhere. A study came out today that showed, like on Fox News, the ratio of them on Fox, I'm sorry, because it's not news. The ratio of them mentioning Medicaid versus mentioning Biden is 10-1. They mention Biden more than they do Medicaid. So the people who are watching that, so many people out there don't even know about this bill. And some who know about the bill don't even know about Medicaid being in it. And so the messaging has been very problematic. Democrats have gotten a lot better on the messaging on this particular issue. But people need to be, these senators, these politicians, these Democrats, they need to be out there with Moral Mondays. They need to be out here, talking about this every day. They need to be bigging up this platform because when we're talking about this wealth transfer, I'm just I'm just tired of seeing so many issues in this country. And I know we'll talk more about them tonight, immigration and other stuff. People not feeling like something's going to bother them because they feel like it doesn't affect them. This is going to affect you. Oh, I got private insurance. It's not going to affect you. You think it's not going to affect you when more people are looking for, the fewer doctors that are available, or people are flooding the hospitals or flooding the network. We can go down the list of how many things that are going to affect people who think this bill won't affect them. But it's not going to happen unless we have more people like you, Roland Martin, like Reverend Barber, who are out there telling the truth. And I applaud not only Reverend Barber, but all of the people of all backgrounds, religious, racial, cultural, gender, who are showing up with him and taking this message back to their communities. Because this is going to pass, Roland. It's going to pass. The Supreme Court and these Republican politicians have not stopped Trump on anything. They've slowed him down here and there, but they are going to give in, and we have to prepare for it.
Michael, the Louisiana healthcare system is trying to let House Speaker Mike Johnson know this is an awful, awful bill. They dropped a statement. This is literally the entire Louisiana healthcare system. You see all of these logos here, where it says, on behalf of Louisiana's hospitals and largest healthcare systems, we come together as stewards of our community's health and well-being. Together, we are unified in our concern over the proposed cuts to Medicaid that are being debated in Congress. These cuts will be historic in their devastation and warrant our shared advocacy to protect our patients and the care we provide them at our hospitals and clinics. They lay out that the steep cuts will force consolidation of services, staffing reductions and closures, reducing healthcare access to everyone in our communities. Our rural communities will especially feel the impact, as many of these hospitals are already in difficult financial situations and are likely to experience a significant reduction of services. The potential impact will be felt by everyone in the state. Now, that's just the healthcare workers. You also have electrical workers, some 800,000 electrical workers, many of them who voted for Trump. They drafted this here. IBEW International President Kenneth Cooper said this budget reconciliation bill is a direct attack on working families, shoveling tax breaks to the rich while turning his back on the people who power this country. The IBEW strongly opposes any proposal that guts infrastructure investment, especially plans like this one that sacrifice existing economic development while providing no clear benefit to working Americans. At a time when we should be investing in energy independence at home, this bill forces our economy to rely on foreign adversaries while dramatically increasing energy bills for every household and draining local communities of the jobs they rely on. What they're talking about right here, all of those green economy, green jobs that are being slashed. They are gutting electric vehicles, tax breaks for solar, things along those lines. IBEW says, make no mistake, this bill will cost hundreds of thousands of good-paying construction jobs, billions of work hours, and hundreds of billions in lost wages and economic benefits to America's middle class. I'm sure a lot of those white electrical workers who voted for Trump are now kicking themselves in the butt, Michael. We tried to tell you.
Absolutely, we tried to tell you, and the urban area, the rural areas are going to be hurt even more by this bill. Like Louisiana, okay, that voted for Trump, former Confederate state. When we look at Medicaid, for instance, the bill is estimated to cut $1 trillion from Medicaid by 2034. Okay. Now, it's also important to understand that there's about 72 million people in America on Medicaid. 20% of them are Black. Okay. 20% of them are African Americans. When we look at, you're going to have cuts to SNAP. Okay. SNAP food assistance. Also, as Reverend William Barber correctly stated, it's estimated that 50,000 people are going to die per year because health care is going to be taken away from them. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, estimates that 11.8 million people will lose health care over, by 2034. So this is horrific. I call it the big ass ugly bill. Okay, this is horrific. This shows the consequences of elections. But the other thing is, Roland, so this is the fiscal year budget. Have you heard anything about stimulus checks that some Black people said they were voting for Trump for? I haven't heard anything about stimulus checks, because I saw interviews with idiotic Black people saying that they were voting for Trump again because they wanted stimulus checks. There's nothing in here about that. But what's in here is going to devastate the African-American community, but devastate America as a whole. We tried to tell you.
We did. Also, let me go with the building trade unions. They also have come out against this bill as well. North America's Building Trades Union. This is from Sean McGarvey. The revised Senate draft released late last night is a massive insult to the working men and women of North America's building trades unions and all construction workers. This is not what they voted for. If enacted, this stands to be the biggest job-killing bill in the history of this country. Simply put, it is the equivalent of terminating more than 1,000 Keystone XL pipeline projects. In some cases, it worsens the already harmful trajectory of the House-passed language, threatening an estimated 1.75 million construction jobs and over 3 billion work hours, which translates to $148 billion in lost annual wages and benefits. These are staggering and unfathomable job loss numbers, and the bill throws yet another lifeline and competitive advantage to China in the race for global energy dominance. Our 3 million members are ready, willing, and able to build this country into the world's undisputed energy superpower, but this bill takes their jobs away and undermines that mission. Well, guess what, Larry? Person said, this is not what we voted for. This is what you voted for. I don't know what the hell all these people keep saying. It is what you voted for. Now they are seeing the reality of what we kept saying and what was going to happen if Donald Trump got back into the Oval Office.
Yeah, so people voted in November. They thought bad for you and not for me.
Yep.
But they weren't listening or either misinformed. But we all have to pay the toll now. Everyone's going to have to pay the toll. And you know, Roland, interesting about all this, and we all talk about what the federal government has done in dramatically pulling back funding from various health indices in terms of research, et cetera. I don't think people realize we're not headed for a recession. We're headed for a depression in a couple of years, because what you have literally, we're not even talk about all the federal workers that lost jobs, but you're talking about tens of thousands of jobs lost in healthcare, higher education, building trades, et cetera, over the next couple of years. You combine that with dismantling the social safety net, and you're talking about tremendous political, economic, social upheaval that people haven't seen in generations. We thought we had it bad during the Bush Jr. administration in terms of those hard economic times. It's going to be far worse. So we're beyond the time of this idea of Republicans being compassionate conservatives. Now it's each your own. And you're right about people who voted, particularly, like I said, the labor unions. The Biden administration saved pensions. And VP Harris was the deciding vote. And unfortunately, many of those individuals who benefited or had family members benefited didn't support her. And once again, in terms of working class labor unions, those well-paying jobs, those jobs are going to disappear. All this green energy jobs, all the infrastructure money that we got from the infrastructure bill to build roadways and highways, et cetera, that money is going to be gone. And then those jobs are going to be gone. People won't have access to health care. They won't be able to get, important services in terms of Medicaid. That'll all disappear. So you combine that with a country who is dramatically increasing the funding for ICE, it'll make it literally the largest, in terms of what we do in terms of, policing in the country. It'll make it larger than FBI and some of these other entities we've known for decades. So you combine that with ICE and policing in neighborhoods, and we're seeing right now, that'll only increase. But the response to that will be concerning as the violence that individuals will respond with when they see individuals in their community they don't have anything to eat.
Well, I don't give a damn what he has to say. I don't believe anything that he says, but guess who's a little perturbed by what's going on here? Oh my God, Elon Musk. So this is what he sent out earlier today. I got a kick out of this. Every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame. And they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth. Well, we tried to tell you too, Elon, and all your entire business is predicated on those clean energy, green bill, tax cuts, and they're all about to go bye-bye. So, Omekongo, FAFO 2025.
FAFO 2025, 2026, 2027. And people need to be really clear. This man only cares about any parts of this bill that are going to affect Tesla and his other projects, period, bottom line. So when people are talking about, oh, even Elon Musk is mad about the debt, like we're not that stupid over here. We know exactly what he's about. And so I get a little bit annoyed when I see all of these Democrats quoting him, even saying things like, even Elon Musk. I'm agreeing with Elon Musk. The dude has always been shady with everything and only cares about himself. And that's why, but nobody wants to call him out the way we call him out here. And he's going to say something tomorrow or the next week. And then what is it going to be? Is he going to say, I'm going to start funding Democrats campaigns? Are Democrats going to start taking his money? They're already pushing people aside like Jasmine Crockett and the like. So what the hell are they going to be doing next? I'm afraid about some of these shady alliances that are going to be made. But Elon Musk with the Democratic Party shouldn't be worth a grain of salt. And when he puts out these particular types of comments about, oh, I'm going to make sure people don't get reelected and so on and so forth, he's only going to put people in interest who are going to go there and make sure that his interests are protected, not the interests of the American people. This man has been part and parcel to the destruction of American society through his fake department and through Trump giving him access to pretty much everything. And he's part of our downfall as well. And he can't escape that smoke.
This is a piece that was written in May, and it says the headline is 10 sneaky sleeper provisions in Trump's big, beautiful bill. It said yet more horrors are hidden in the fine print. And when they went into it, crippling courts. The bill will actually prohibit any funds from being used to carry out court orders holding executive branch officials in contempt. So they want to gut the power of the federal courts. Bonus for tax prep industry. Of course, they want to get rid of e-file and they want to whack e-file, which is available to taxpayers in 25 states because the tax prep industry hated losing billions of dollars. Guess what? They said the bill adds $45 billion to build immigration jails. They're going to spend, Samuel Singawe posted this, they're going to spend more money in this bill than was spent in the 1994 crime bill. Y'all better recognize what's going on. They are allowing determination of the tax status of nonprofits if they define them as terrorist supporting organizations. They're going to slap that on everybody. They're going to block states from regulating AI for a 10-year period. So what happened to states' rights? Gutting the estate tax, weakening the child tax credit, expanding school vouchers, again, cuts to Affordable Care Act, and support for gun silencers. So it's so much crap in this bill that it's just insane when you begin to break it down, Michael. And again, folk don't pay any attention and the numbers don't lie. So what should be happening, folks should be blowing up the phones of United States senators saying, you vote for this, especially those red state senators who are up for re-election. We're going to kick your ass at the ballot box next year.
Absolutely. And, I think it was the doctor he just talked about, Dr. Larry, mentioned the pension dollars, the Biden-Harris interjecting $36 billion to save pensions for UAW, the UAW employees, auto worker employees. It was 350,000 auto employees had their pensions saved because of the Biden-Harris administration. When you deal with some of those things that are hidden in this big ass ugly bill, you're absolutely correct. I've been seeing information about this. One, trying to weaken the courts. This deals with straight out of Project 2025 and the Unitarian executive theory and trying to take more power away from the courts and give it to the president. And then also you talk about the $45 billion to build privatized prisons. People have to understand Core Civic and Geo Group, two of the largest owner-operators of privatized prisons in the country. They supported Trump in 2016, and they supported Trump again in 2024. Okay, and you have where some of these migrants are being housed are in privatized prisons owned by these corporations. Okay, now Donald Trump signed an executive order to unleash the police. We know that his Department of Justice has backed out of consent decrees with the Ferguson Police Department and also in St. Louis, Missouri, things like this. We know, again, they're taking a hands-off approach to policing. So you're going to unleash the police. You're going to build more privatized prisons, okay? And now, who you think they're going to put in there? See, this is an all-out attack on melanated people, and as I said a few days ago on my social media platforms, white supremacy and racism attacks all Black people, regardless of country of origin, regardless of language spoken, regardless of your religion. Okay, so some African Americans, some Black people think it's all right as long as Black immigrants are being attacked and locked up. No, they're coming for your ass also, because a lot of us, you can't tell, for a lot of us, some of us look like we could be immigrants, but to white supremacist, white nationalists and the Trump administration, all Black people are immigrants. They don't think any of us belong.
Well, absolutely. And so the reality is, folks, what you're seeing a huge debate that take place in this country. And what we have to understand right now, what's going on here.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.